Hello everybody, Malakith here, and this is the final battle of the TWCC Flash Tournament. So, a quick recap of the rules while we wait for the two teams to deploy their battle formations. So they have access to 12,000 in funds. They are playing on the large unit scale, not ultra. They are allowed a maximum of 10 spears, pikes or hoplites in combination. They are allowed a maximum of 6 of the same unit type. They are not allowed to push through exploit to get through pike walls and the such, and they are not allowed artillery. So the teams, we have Harba and Pelius on one team, and Abu along with Cusounjx on the other. The other 4 people you'll see in here are various live streamers and recorders and the like. Now we have one unit, which is a general, which will run to the back of the map as quickly as possible, which I forgot to do, so we will go set that up now. I'm avoiding showing the deployment area of the team I'm on because obviously this is live streamed and I don't want to give anything away should the other team be watching. It's also where the minimap is minimized. That will go back to being, you know, the usual size once the battle begins, and it's not going to give anything away. So it should be, I believe, Suabi and Rome versus Suabi and Rome, which will be an interesting matchup. Depends how they actually face off against each other. If they end up matching against their equal type, it could be very interesting based on the unit types they've picked. The other thing of note will be whether Harba has picked the exact same composition of army that he has picked every battle since the start, given that I imagine his opposition have been watching at least some of the streams and probably know what he does. But equally they may have been watching the other guys' streams and know what they do. So you've got lots of little mind games going on. So players are ready. The countdown has started. Oh, somebody's drawing on the map. If that's the battle plan, then, well, yes, it's probably quite accurate to what will happen. Let's ready up, just in case they want to get started early. So there is no real terrain to speak of, it's just a big flat ground, which should make it nice and balanced. A bit of tree here, but if you can hide an army in that, then well, you deserve not to be seen, to be perfectly honest. How many legionnaires can you fit in this tree? That is the real question, as Chadman would say. Okay, and the battle is underway. So, let's see, Abu is on the left of his team, facing off against the Rome, so that'll be Pelius. So he has 4 units of longbow hunters. What's this? 3 units of Germanic scouts and 2 units of noble riders. And he also then has 6 units of swordmasters, 2 of berserkers, and his Woodnaz spears general. We'll focus on his Roman ally, who's pushing forwards massively at the moment. So he's got Syrian archers, Triari. Is that 2 units of Triari? Yep. 6 units of Praetorian Guard, and then his general. And on the flank we have some gladiators, 3 units of Praetorian cavalry, and a 2nd unit gladiators. So he's clearly going for a flank. And here we have, who is this? Harba, of course, doing his usual tactic. 3 units of archers supported by 3 units of swordsmen, swordmasters, in 2 blocks. Meanwhile, his Roman ally, Praetorian Guard, General Bodyguard, 4 units of gladiators, and then his cavalry. So he's got 2 auxiliary, 2 Praetorian, sorry, 3 auxiliary and 2 Praetorian. Interesting how they're spreading quite wide, they're leaving this big area open. Cusounjx is going for the flank with 2 units of gladiators and his 3 cavalry units. Be interesting to see how Harba tries to counter that, because at the moment he's just engaging in some long-range skirmishing, which he should win quite nicely with his longbows, especially considering he outnumbers the ranged units 3 to 1. Not a lot of interest happening on the Roman side. Pelius flanking around with his cavalry pretty wide, and Abu counters with his own cavalry sitting on the flank. It's almost a mirror match at the moment, with the numbers being slightly different. Here comes Noble Riders. What are they up to? They're potentially chasing off the skirmishers, but they've decided better of it. He seems to be pulling back, deciding not to commit quite so much, as he's seen the Suabi forces coming across, potentially to hit him in the flank. We've still got this big hole in the line here. They're just probing each other's defences, not really committing. But here we go. Pelius has had his cavalry caught against the map edge. He's going to get headed off by these Germanic scouts, the extra speed of them. So he's going to have to fight this. Come on, turn the Praetorian cavalry in. He's trying to micro it. Oh, didn't quite get there quick enough. Although he has absolutely decimated those scout riders with his Praetorian cavalry. So we've got our first engagement over here. Nothing too much going on the other side of the battlefield, so we'll stay over here for now. So those scout riders are routed and gone. He's got auxiliary cavalry moving in. What's going on in here? Noble Riders versus Praetorians, and the Praetorians are winning decisively, although the Noble Riders seem to think combat's even. But here we have Germanic scouts flanking round onto the auxiliary cav. Doesn't really have much in the way to support it, and the general's coming across with its spear unit. So we've got routing on both sides, scout riders from the Germanic team and auxiliary cavalry from the Romans. Still just posturing and skirmishing over this side, probing the defences, using these archers to push back the Roman forces. We'll focus on this cavalry fight some more. He's throwing it in. Germanic scout riders are going to get slaughtered. Here comes the general and his bodyguard. These spears, however, may prove problematic. He's got the potential to engage them and then charge them from the rear, but instead he seems to be pulling out. He's fought off the cutting off forces. He's drawn their general miles away from the rest of his troops. So he's pulling out and thinking better of it. Looks like Harba is trying to capitalise on this flank and take out the gladiators and the Praetorian cavalry that are out here. He's using one of his blocks of infantry to push back the Roman front line and the other to try and attack the flank, but he's decided better of it as they've wheeled their flank back. These Romans are very far away. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. The Suabi are moving across to help against Harba here, as the Romans are too far to counter it. They do have to watch their flank though, as there's a lot of cavalry sitting over there waiting. But Harba is going to be on the receiving end of a two-person assault. It's his turn to run away. He's got his general out on the flank here. He's telling them to charge. He's trying to protect his archers. Here we go. Oh, point blank javelins. Praetorian cavalry didn't take a single loss, neither did the swordmasters. So that initial charge and the javelin throws resulted in 0 casualties. The fighting has now begun and the Praetorians seem to be getting the worst of it. But in come reinforcements, battle is joined and everybody is now piling in. This Praetorian cavalry getting flanked by noble riders who have decided instead they're going to go try and pick on the exposed auxiliary Syrian archers. Those sword infantry not quite stopping Cusounjx's horses getting to the archers. The micro not quite up to standard there for Harba, he was obviously distracted somewhere else. Pelius is way out on the flank, being drawn into a big chase match. Meanwhile, Harba is fighting on the entire front of his troops. Longbows again, trying to pick off units at range. Triari there. We've got a sacrificial unit of noble riders riding around in here trying to deal with the archers, likely to get pinned by something. Oh no, they've charged the general. They've managed to catch the general. Oh no, maybe not. I'm looking at entirely the wrong banner, ignore me completely. What on earth is going on here? There's two... I see, there's two noble riders that decided they can't be asked to fight with the rest of their unit. They're going to stand around and stab some archers. Where's the rest of your troop? Over there, fighting the spears. So yeah, whilst most of their unit were fighting the Triari, the cadets were here stabbing some archers, because, you know, they were easy kills to get on the scoreboard. Anyway, Praetorian cavalry losing the fight. Reinforcements are close at hand, some swordmen... Swordmasters running there, trying to protect the general. We have the standard melee dogpile going on here. Looks like the Suabi have turned to fight the Romans. They're still kiting them for a while over on the far side though. This is the battle that they do not want to fight. Harba is retreating back as much as he can, but he is going to get pinned on the map edge. His ally extended too far onto the flank and he's been caught out. That's why you don't go too overly aggressive on one flank. His only hope is to try and hold out for as long as possible and let Pelius sweep his way in, but it looks like Pelius is having his own fights. Berserkers and Swordmasters going in against Praetorian Guard. We've got some noble riders versus his cavalry units up here. And his general, so they should win that eventually. But that is all of his cavalry held up in the meantime. Oh. His gladiators have caught the rear of the Suabi general. He's focused on going in for the horses. We'll come back to that once we've had a quick survey of the battlefield. So Harba retreated back far enough. It seems that they've decided they don't want to chase him quite that far. But he has had to throw a lot of units into this fight. They're determined to bring his general down and wipe out these supporting units. Rome's managed to win this fight here by the look of it. Praetorian Guard are rallying. Berserkers getting routed. So Pelius may yet come to the rescue. Harba's holding his own. It may have been a bad idea not to continue to pursue Harba. He's now managed to rally his forces, muster them together, and he's coming back. But he's likely to lose his general in the process, which will obviously hurt morale. Over here, the Suabi general is getting charged in the rear by gladiators. The cavalry support is routing. Pelius' cavalry will be freed up from this fight. And then can run rampant, around the entire rear of the enemy army. He's got his choice of targets now, and he's choosing the longbow hunters. Harba's riders again running amok in the middle of the archers. There we go. So this swung violently away from being in Cusounjx's favour. and is now a much more tightly fought battle. He does have a good strong cluster of forces here though. The middle, however, definitely belongs to Pelius. He's got far more troops there than anyone else. I think it's only a matter of time now. Masses of arrows going in. Praetorian Guard catching shots from all directions. Abu's Berserkers are down to 7. Once they're cut down, these Swordmasters will be freed up to get into the fight again. He's just kiting these Praetorian Guard with his archers, as only Harba seems capable of doing. He has them chase one unit, gets his archers on the flank, shoots them. If they change target, he does it in another circle like this. They're changing to this unit, so then these will turn around and shoot again. They're also getting shot in the rear. Very good micromanagement on his archers here. Praetorian shields bouncing everywhere as they get arrows in the back, arrows in the side. Let's move on. Swordmasters of Harba, standing around in a clump. He's too busy micromanaging. He hasn't noticed the Cusounjx's units coming in. Eagle cohort. There we go. He spotted it in time. He's trying to get them out of the trap. Pelius is coming across to give support, charging them in the rear. He's got a few of Abu's units over here still to mop up. But looks like Harba has managed to get his sword units out in time. Those Praetorians are broken. In comes the general. He's only got 11 men left, but he is horse mounted. He could get in quick and deal quite a bit of damage to one of these archer units, but in come the arrows. Oh, down they fall. Let's see how many they can take out. Can they rout the unit before they get there? In comes the charge. That would give them a morale boost. Ploughing through a unit of archers, but not enough. And they fled the field. So there goes the Roman general. Cusounjx will suffer morale-wise now because of that. And his 9 Praetorian Guards still don't want to give up. So Harba has turned to fight Cusounjx's Eagle cohort. Pelius has now engaged the remainder of his forces. What do we have over here? Pelius, Abu still has some Swordmasters left, but they're facing 2 units of Gladiators and a unit of Praetorian Cavalry. They won't last too long. Auxiliary Cavalry coming in. Remains of a Triari unit trying to get back into the fight. It's pretty much all over. We're going for a last ditch Spartan style stand in the middle here. People getting stabbed left, right and centre. You can hear the noises. Oh, someone's breaking. Who is that? There goes one of Cusounjx's Praetorians. Yep. So these guys are about to break. Losing decisively. In comes some cavalry. In comes some more cavalry. And that's it. It's all over. The battle definitely occurred over the entirety of the field. You've got bodies over here on the edge. Big cluster there, there. That was definitely one of the most spread out battles, requiring a lot of micromanagement. So now we just have the live streamers units to bring in and die horribly. And let's have a look at the unit stats that it will show us. So we're being shown the Roman stats, so that'll be Cusounjx's. These archers really not used effectively at all. 0 kills on one, 9 on the other, before getting caught and run down. His general got 17, one of his cavalry got 4. It's unfortunate. Some key units there not quite performing. But victory goes to Harba and Pelius, so my apologies, who have been following since the start, and congratulations to them on winning the tournament. For anyone who's enjoyed this tournament, there is another one, the Rome 2 Full Cup, which is actually a prize tournament. So the winner gets 80% of the money, the runner-up gets 20%. All of the money that ends up in the kitty goes to the prizes. Their goal is 800. They're trying to get sponsors and, you know, like Razer and the like on board. But, you know, you can try. There's no guarantee, unfortunately. So it is a 1v1 double elimination tournament, which means if you lose once, you get a second chance. You don't necessarily go out in your first loss like you are in the one that we're watching currently. If you wish to reserve a spot to ensure you get in, you can go and donate $10 right now. If you don't wish to do that and you want to risk getting in the list of first come first serve, on the 22nd of September sign-ups will open. It is first come first serve, so if you miss out, then, well, you were told, and there's not a lot you can do about it. So it will be shoutcasted by various people, myself, Lionheart, Diplex, Zaript, Prussian Prince, possibly Heir of Carthage, possibly Chadman. You know, there's a whole load of people that will be doing the various games. Also, if replays are working by then, I suspect every game will have its replay saved and sent, and any that aren't done live will likely be done after the fact. I know I will be interested in doing that if people wish me to do that. So the rules, they're still being perfected. Obviously every patch that gets released changes the balance of the game, but for the most part these little flash tournaments like the one we're watching now will guide the rules of this. It'll likely be there's a limit on certain units, there'll be a limit on spears, pikes and hoplites, there'll be a limit on, or maybe a restriction of artillery completely. You know, the kind of things you're used to seeing. So, if you want to get involved, go look up the Indiegogo campaign for the Rome 2 Full Cup, or find my video on my YouTube channel, and that has a direct link to it.